Excited today to be part of Ted Ing's pop-up events that have started across the United States. And we're so glad to be here in Albany, New York, featuring the DePaulo Auto Group. You'll see through the whole process of this next event of our proper walk around that we do with our guests when they enter our service lane in all our service facilities, how we welcome our customers, how we do the walk around, build rapport, show empathy towards our customers. You'll also see KPIs that we use monitoring our key point indicators. Key point indicators being for our ICE vehicles, what we're going to be able to sell, and our EV vehicles that we will monitor in the future, what those vehicles will need. We'll see our training paths with our technicians at our Mazda, Ford, and Chevrolet facilities that we do. You'll also see how we honor our technicians that have great awards and have put the strive into their training, how we honor them throughout our facilities with their pictures and their qualifications in their years, many years of experience. Today's event, you'll see where we've taken young people because we forgot about the trades in this country, where we take them right from high school, bring them into our facility, and offer them a snap-on toolbox, which they'll own after 2 years to set them up in the proper way. Also, it's a career where we're going to do the fundamentals and a complete training path for these individuals where we help them out to make them successful in what they do and everything that they have. But it's more than just a career. It's part of a family atmosphere.
Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. This event is exclusively sponsored by BG Products, partners beyond products. Now, on with the live event.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Ted Ings. We are here today in beautiful Albany, New York for our fourth pop-up event. We are at the DePaulo Automotive Group, Chevrolet, Ford, and Mazda. I'd like to welcome our panel today, including Tom Restino, the Vice President of Operations. Tom, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks for coming on to meet our executive team and meet all our wonderful people and to interview them and to find out the great culture and, pathways for careers. And we'll talk about that with all of going through this whole piece.
Tom, I have heard it's all about the people here at DePaulo. So I'd like to introduce everybody, if I could, to Jason Newell. He's the Executive Manager here at DePaulo Mazda. And with us today is Kathy McCamey, the CFO of the DePaulo Automotive Group. Jason and Kathy, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Thank you for having us. Jason, Tom mentioned the career path. And today, when we speak to various employees here at DePaulo, we're going to hear about that career path. You're a great example of that, I understand. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. About 12 years ago, I started in the sales department at the Chevy store and had the opportunity to work my way up into the finance department, onto the desk. And then with the acquisition of Ford and Mazda, several years later, had the opportunity to step up and head over there and complete a dealer academy a few years ago. So that was a nice experience as well.
Wow. So I've learned there is a career path here at DePaulo. And, before we got started earlier today, Kathy, I learned from you that Tom's career path really started a few years back with you as well.
Yes. in 1995, I was working at a dealership in Vermont, and we were looking for a service manager. And Tom came in and interviewed, and I hired him there. And then a year later, I left. I met Mr. and Mrs. DePaula and interviewed with them and took the position there. And 2 years after that, I called Tom up and said, come on down. Let's get back together. So he's been my work husband for 27 years.
Wow. So, great story, fascinating. And we're going to hear a lot today from not only your technicians and your service and your parts personnel, but, the ladies of DePaula as well. Talk to us a little bit, Jason. You're very intentional at DePaula in terms of when you hire, okay? Tell us a little bit about what you look for in your employees or your future employees.
The biggest thing that I can say we look for is really just people who want to be here. And, that's a big part of the culture that we've established here. When people are here, it's not like it's a punishment or they have to be here and they have to punch the clock from a certain time. It's, they're here because, we're family, we work together and we want to be here.
And our industry is changing. I mean, we've gone through a lot in the last 3 or 4 years, things that we never would have expected. And so many things are happening within our industry. And I see that DePaula is really, following that and actually leading the way in many ways with technology and so on.
Yeah, I think that's, for myself at least, that's what I love about this industry the most, is it's constantly changing. And, we do everything that we can to be right on the cutting edge of everything changing because, if you're not, someone's going to pass you by. And especially in, today's environment, we want to put ourselves in the best position to, acquire the best talent that we can. If we're not up to speed, it's not going to happen.
Kathy, it's all about the people at DePaula. We're going to hear today about parts, wholesale parts, things that you're doing in terms of service, pickup, and delivery. Talk to us a little bit about the people here at DePaula, because you've got a whole lot of people that work for this team.
Yes, we do. We have 350 employees at the auto group, and we like to look for people that are young, looking to start in a business and learn. I personally like to hire people with no experience, because we can teach them our way, which is a great way. We're very much into, and I think our employees feel it from the day that they start, that we have a path for them. We have mentoring programs. Mrs. DePaula is 100% upon training anyone that comes in, whether it's through the manufacturer, an outside source, or people within that have a lot of experience within the dealership. And we've seen people grow. My 3 office managers all started as receptionists or nighttime filers and have worked their way up. And I think that's because we believe in cross-training, cross-departments, so that everybody knows that we're a team. And we always say, come join the family. And it's very, very true, because once you join the family, our wings go around you and we take you to higher places.
And I can feel that here, okay? That presence is very much felt. And Tom, you look for ways to help your employees succeed. Talk to us about that, because I see that you give them the tools and the resources to be able to do that.
We try to take kids right out of school and try to teach them a trade. I mean, we've forgotten for so many years about the trades, and everybody was a big push to go to college, but we forget what they can do in this industry. I mean, you have parts people, as you're going to see, that have been here almost 38 years in the business, which is tremendous, or the young people that we started as technicians and we give them a career path. Whereas Kathy said, they grow up from being receptionists and they move up through the ranks. I mean, Mrs. DePaula has put a number of us through Dealer Academy, which is a tremendous amount of expense for that. And it's about the training that she's brought to us, that we're training our people, and you'll find out how we pay our technicians. If they want to train at home, we'll pay them their full rate, because it's all about knowledge. And if people know that, this business is about knowledge, and it's not just about a mechanic or a grease monkey many years ago. It's about a specialist. How you're going to make an EV specialist or a diesel specialist or whatever growth we can give them. We're there to do that. The whole process.
And Tom, you're not afraid to try new things here at DePaula. I know I met you the first time maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and you and I together learned about service, pickup, and delivery, and you were quick to adopt that. Not long afterwards, you've adopted mobile service. You've done a great job, not just on selling the hours, but the parts as well, wholesale. You've got a medium, heavy truck business, really second to none here in Albany. Talk to us about the importance of fixed operations.
It's all about relationships. And you're going to see that when you talk about all our people. It's about relationships, from that wholesale person at the desk that they want to sell a part to, and about the relationships on how quickly we bring our parts, or about the women in the fixed operations that greet our guest. And it makes them feel comfortable. I mean, no one likes to come here, or the pickup and delivery. And there's so many people that we hire for our pickup and delivery. They're great people. And that's what you want to get comments on. I mean, makes them feel comfortable. And it's all about comfort level, because everything's changing in this business. Where are we going to go from the ICE to the EV that we'll talk about even more? It's all going to change, but you still got to have different aspects on the pickup and delivery, the mobile service, and making people, showing empathy. That's a big piece, empathy.
I feel it and I see it. Jason, isn't it amazing the focus on fixed operations, how important that has become now in the last couple of years? You know, really, you've got this beautiful facility here, this beautiful new facility with Mazda, and really, you, just like many other leading dealerships, are putting the focus on service and parts first. I like that.
Yeah, it's, you know, they call it the fixed side of the business for a reason. And I think one of the things that we learned through COVID, you know, there was a lot of, you know, different perceptions. Okay, sales, are we selling online? Are we selling in the showroom? And you know, we were very lucky that the fixed was always there for us. So we kind of took that as an opportunity to grow it even more. And, you know, it's the foundation of what we do.
And Kathy, probably nobody more important in the dealership than the CFO, than yourself. You see it all, okay? A lot of things can see.
I signed their paycheck.
Well, that doesn't very...
That just...
But a lot of change happening in our industry.
Yeah.
And a lot of change for the better.
Yeah, great change for the, and we're very, very fortunate that, you know, 50% of our employees have been there over 15 years. And so to have that kind of foundation and that working mechanics and people are adaptable to change and the times, because we don't want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to be the Joneses, you know?
And Tom, I'll give you the last word. You mentioned to me before we got started today the word transparency. I see so much transparency in what you're doing here at the Paula.
Absolutely. You know that we use the video for iService or True Video, and the transparency with our guests is important. I mean, especially with pickup and delivery, everything can be videoed, and that's what people want. They want to use their phone, and that's the biggest piece. And you'll see that when we talk to our other people, which you'll see the camaraderie that we have and the family atmosphere, and that's the biggest piece that we have here, is the family piece.
Everybody stay with us. We have a whole lot coming up here with the people of the DePaula Automotive Group. We're in Albany, New York, here with the leaders of DePaula. Stay with us. We'll be right back at the Fixed Ops Roundtable 4th pop-up event.
Conference at DePaula Auto Group at our newest facility, DePaula Mazda, that we had just completed building, and you'll see our new technicians in here, and shortly you'll be seeing the pop-up event in our state-of-the-art shows. Wonderful place. We need the best. Todd Rustino from DePaula Mazda, part of the DePaula Auto Group, how we showcase our technicians with their years of experience, senior Mazda technician, senior rack, 16 years, 10 years, 7 years, 111. It's a way that we want to showcase our technicians who are what customers, our guests that come in here, to show them what we're all about.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Ted Ings. We are in beautiful Albany, New York for our 4th pop-up event. We're with the service advisors of DePaula. Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Tom, I see that you've got your body armor on, your lanyard. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is what our body armor is about. It's about our walk around. You'll see that we have a sprinkling of our writers from our different stores, which is a positive thing, and we'll talk to each and every one of them. But this is our body armor, Ted, and you keep your lanyard on and you keep your name tag on because why do we have the name tag on here? Because the normal human being can't understand your name, can't remember your name. That's why we use it. That's why we came up with that. So they remember your name.
Everybody, if you would, starting with John, introduce yourself and which dealership you're at.
My name is John Elmendorf. I'm the light-duty, heavy-duty truck manager at DePaula Ford.
Chuck Richardson. I work at DePaula Chevrolet as a service advisor, main shop.
Hi, I'm Lisa Dugan. I'm service advisor for DePaula Mazda.
And I'm Louis Correa. I'm with DePaula Ford, and I'm a quick loop service advisor.
Everybody, this morning at 6:45 a.m., I was on the service drive with our team, and I couldn't help but notice that at each of your locations, you're doing a service huddle. I want to ask you a little bit about that because we don't see that commonly at most dealerships in terms of the communication. John, talk to us a little bit about that. Why does DePaula do a service huddle every morning before the doors open?
Brings the whole team together. It lets us talk about some things that happened the day before. If we need help and assistance with anything, just gets everybody to get together.
Super. Chuck?
Gets everybody pumped up for the day, and that we're here if we have any issues coming up, that we can get the management team involved with it rather than waiting for the person to get there at the end of the beginning of the day.
And I saw that you were doing a walk around this morning as well on the drive.
Yes.
Do you do that every morning as part of the huddle? Somebody does a walk?
Every morning, yes.
Wow, super. I love it. Lisa, why the service huddle?
I think it brings everyone together. Yeah, everybody's on the same page. They know what's going to happen today. Again, if there's any issues from the day before, we get them all resolved.
Sure. And, in the morning before the doors open, that's probably maybe one of the only times that everybody could even consider getting
Correct. Yep, everybody's there. Everybody's pumped and ready to go.
Super. Great way to start your day.
Yes, sir.
Lewis, what are your thoughts about that service huddle?
I love it. Just brings the team together and gets us ready for the day.
Super. Tom, what was the thinking about that? Bringing the service huddle and doing...
Years ago, why we created it, to bring everybody in on time. And we spoke about it today. It starts at 6:45. It's got to be regimented, so when the doors open, everybody has to be ready at their positions. At their positions is a critical point. And you can talk about everything. Do you have the walk around every morning? You're going to do it, but you're also going to talk about any CSI concerns you had the day before, any whiteboard concerns that you had from the day before, and we'll talk about the whiteboard shortly. But that's different stuff that we do. And that's what we developed many, many years ago. And it just works. It just works. Gets everybody there on time.
Lisa, I also overheard Dennis Walter, when I was over at the Chevrolet dealership, talking about some of the metrics and letting us know where we were on yesterday's business and what to look for today. What's the purpose of that and doing that so early in the morning as well?
I think it's just everybody's all there. They're all focused and just ready to go. Everybody's had their coffee. So, yeah, I think it just keeps us all together.
And why that walk around, John? Why practice that in the morning before the customers come in? Because I noticed once the garage door is open, you got a rush of vehicles coming through. Why practice that every day?
So that you're ready to go. We've already done it a bunch of times in the morning, and it's the same throughout the day, same process from start to finish.
And I noticed that everybody has their lanyards on today. Is that part of the process here?
Yeah, check the tires with the customer, walk around, touch all wiper blades, see any damage, any concern that we might see the customer might not know of. We're just going to let them know what we see visually.
Super. And Chuck, is process a big part of what the DePaula Automotive Group does here out on the service drive?
Absolutely. Keeps you doing the same thing every time. It's a good thing with the customers, too.
Yeah.
They love it.
Louis, do the customers like the consistency that you do here when I know they've probably grown to expect the fact that you're going to be looking at the tires, going to be popping the hood, you're going to be putting the lights on. Do they like the consistency part?
They actually love all that. It actually allows us to plant a seed as to what the customer is looking forward to getting done on their vehicle. So it's very helpful for us.
Wow. Louis, how long have you been a service advisor?
Probably about 9 months. and I love it. Successful. I enjoy helping my customers, so our customers, because we are a team. So,
And Tom speaks very highly of you, of all of you. He mentioned you in particular, having excelled on the service drive as well.
Tom started in the lane, and he has one of the top CSIs of the company, and he worked the lane and worked our customers and greeted them. And he grew into the position. It's all about the career paths. Anybody can do that, to come into this business and learn that career path. You learn the service lane, you learn the walk around, you learn what the process is, you learn what your KPIs are, you learn about the huddle. But Lewis excelled at that, like everyone else. But the other piece that we have is by why we do the walk around is it sets the seed for our videos, our iService and our True videos. So it sets the seed so they know, hey, I know my cabin air filter might be, well, the technician's telling me that, or my tires are off. It's all the transparency, as we continually talk about here with our whole group. How transparent are we? And that customer looks for that video because they have that rapport they built. It takes a couple minutes to do the walk around as we do, but it's so critical to do that.
Tom mentions that word, John, transparency. And you know what? I never heard that word until just a few years ago in service and parts, but it's come to service and parts, and customers like that transparency. Talk to us about the video that the customer gets from the technician. Why do that, and why is that so important, and why is that well received by the customer?
Well, it gives the technician an opportunity to show the customer exactly what they have going on underneath the vehicle that they don't normally see on a day-to-day, and it just builds trust throughout the process.
Wow. And you do that with every customer, every time the customers come in?
Yes.
Wow. Chuck, your thoughts on the video and on the transparency?
I get a lot of positive feedback from the customers on the video, because they don't, like John said, you don't get to see underneath the vehicle. In Northeast, they're very tough on a vehicle, so they don't get to see that they have rusted bolts and everything underneath the vehicle. And they can actually see, if you go to an average person, they don't know what a ball joint is, or a tie rod end, or a lower control arm, where you can show them everything and say, this is what we have going on. I get a lot, like I said, a lot of positive feedback from the customer. They love it.
Lisa, I asked you about it a little bit earlier today before we got started. Talk to us about the transparency. Why is that so important, the video?
It's all about trust. It's all about trust. If the client does not trust you, they are not going to buy anything from you. So I can tell them that they need a microfilter, but if the technician is actually showing them that they need a microfilter, it just builds all the trust you can ever imagine.
And I would assume then it makes the sale go a lot easier.
Correct. Because they don't know what happens behind the wall.
That's right. Yeah. Super. Lewis, your thoughts on the video?
the work sells for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had customers come and ask just to make sure that we do a video for them because they enjoy watching the whole process that the technician is going through. You know, it's like they love it. So it just helps us. It helps them, you know, see that we're not just trying to take their money. They can see exactly what their vehicles need.
And Louis, earlier today, we had the leadership here at DePaula talking about that career path that employees have who work at DePaula Automotive Group. So you're living proof of that. You started off, did Tom say, as a greeter on the service drive?
Shuttle driver, from shuttle driver to lane to loaners, then became loaner manager, and over to being a service writer. And I love it. So, top of the team. He builds team, so.
Yes, I love it. And Tom, you've got a great team, and that career path is evident as we meet your people here at DePaula.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love it. So everybody, the writers here, probably one of the most important positions in all of dealership here at DePaula Automotive Group. We're in Albany, New York. Stay with us. We have a lot more coming up at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We're here at the 4th pop-up event. Our revolutionary pop-up events have sparked a new wave of growth and innovation.
Become part of the brand that is shaping retail fixed operations at FixedOpsRoundtableCertified.com.
The Clean Air Car Care campaign is BG's green initiative designed to promote the BG Platinum fuel system service, which has been proven to reduce harmful emissions. Additional services featured in the campaign include the BG Platinum 44K service, which restores fuel economy, and the BG Climate Control service that will refresh the air inside your customers' vehicles. Advisors can match the service with the customer's biggest concern. Is it performance and fuel economy? Is it the environment and emissions? Or is it the air quality inside their vehicle? The services offered with the Clean Air Car Care campaign will provide your customers with clean air both inside and outside of their vehicles. Talk to your BG distributor about how to sell more services with BG Clean Air Car Care.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. This is our fourth pop-up event. I am Ted Ings. We're here in beautiful Albany, New York at the DePaula Automotive Group. Tom Rustino, VP of Operations, is joining us. Tom, very impressed with your staff so far.
Thanks so much, Ted, for coming to Albany. It's fantastic to have you here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it very much.
And here we have the women.
The women of the DePaula Fixed Operations, real important piece, real structure for us.
So, ladies,
Biggest pieces.
if you would, let's go right down the line. Introduce yourselves and then what you do at the DePaula Automotive Group.
I'm Beverly Keenan. I work in the parts department. I'm a parts advisor.
I'm Natasha, and I'm a certified service technician. I'm Mackenzie Albin. I'm the BDC manager for Ford and Mazda.
I am Tracy Perigo. I am the service manager at Chevy Service Department.
And I'm Lori Barrett. I'm with DePaula Auto Group, and I wear many hats, so I'm all over the place.
So, ladies, there are a lot of preconceived notions. A lady working in the automotive business historically, it's been known as a male-dominated industry. Some of your thoughts on that, Bev, if I can come to you first.
In the beginning, for me, I mean, I've been here for quite a few years, 38 to be exact. And in the beginning, it was tough because guys didn't really trust you that much. But as time went on, everything was so much better, and everybody gets along. It's great.
Right. Natasha?
As a woman in the garage, you definitely have to prove yourself a little bit more than others. So you have to really know your stuff before saying anything. But once they, like Beth said, once they trust you, definitely. If you
And Mackenzie, I will ask you about that as well. You know, male-dominated industry and your thoughts.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to prove yourself a little bit more as a female. But as a female, I think we're more organized. Customers love to see females in the dealership, so absolutely. That's positive.
And I think, Mackenzie, it would send a message, you know, when a dealership does not have women, okay, whether it's in the service lane or in the parts department, okay, it sends a message to the customer as well if they don't.
Yeah, I work a lot with the phones and customers directly. And a lot of people actually request to work with a woman when they come in. So it's great that we have all these women here.
I love it. And Tracy, you and I met earlier this morning on the service drive. You know, so important. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you definitely as a female service manager, because there's not a lot of them out there. And the big thing as far as our dealership, which I try to work with everybody on, is empathy for the customers, because you never know what anybody's dealing with when they enter that service lane. There's a lot of women that come in now. It used to be their husbands brought their vehicles in. Today, there's a lot of women out there, but they're working a lot of, they have busy jobs. We have a shuttle service. So when they see a woman in there, they are totally put at ease, especially when you walk around their vehicle, as we did this morning with the lane process.
when you teach them things about their vehicle, things that we're looking at just from their tires to their brake fluid, they're like, wow, I feel like so much more at ease. I was very nervous about coming in here. So definitely makes a big difference having females in there.
Absolutely. Lori Barrett.
So, I've been with the dealership for 8 years, and immediately I felt, like I was part of the family. Tom brought me on, and I've grown with the company so much over the years. And now, customers always ask me, what do you do for DePaula? And honestly, I say a little bit of everything. And so there's so many opportunities here as a female in this industry. And I honestly can take credit for Tracy because I brought her on. She's been a friend of mine for 20-something years, and she's done a phenomenal job.
DePaula definitely gives you lots of opportunities around the girl for sure.
Wait, would you say, ladies, there's a career path?
Oh,
here at
sure.
DePaula?
Absolutely. But I'm almost retired, so.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
All right.
More years.
All right. So Bev, let me come back to that. How have you seen the industry change over the years, in terms of, women in the dealership?
The technologies now compared to when I started are fabulous. I mean, it's so much easier looking up a part now than it used to be.
Sure. Tracy, how have you seen the industry change over the years?
Well, the biggest thing, again, is having females in the workforce. And going back to another question from earlier, as far as being a female out there and gaining the respect from the males out there, because at first you have to have a strong personality to do this, and you have to be firm to let them know your stuff. Again, with technicians, parts, customers, I mean, everybody all around. So it definitely, years ago, it wasn't like that. It was just, you walked in, there was men everywhere, just male technicians. This is amazing. I mean, just to have female technicians is fantastic. Women in the parts department, women in management. I mean, so there's definitely, it's evolved. It's definitely gone to another level. And we all bring a little bit, to the table, so.
I love it. Mackenzie, how have you seen it?
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, there's just way more opportunities for women now than there used to be in the automotive industry. I started off as a delivery coordinator here at Paula, and now I'm in management. So they definitely give you an opportunity to grow. Women just aren't in accounting anymore. Obviously, all of us are in different departments, so that's great.
I love it. And, as we go around the country, Tom, we see a lot of women now who are women dealers, okay? The general manager, the dealer principal, is a lady as well. So there's definitely a career path. Absolutely. And Natasha, it's, a good time, I think a great time to be a lady in the car business right now.
Especially being young. Well, yes. She's got a good chat.
Mackenzie, talk to me about how important are customer service skills right now in our industry?
Customer service is basically my entire job, so it's very, very important. It's good to we need to build a healthy relationship with our customers so that they trust us, so that they come back, so that we have repetitive business. So it's very important.
Who else would like to talk about those customer service skills and how important that is in our industry?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we live in such a different times today. Just over the last 2 years, customer service is like at its all-time low in a lot of areas. For us, we try to bring it as high as we possibly can because, as I stated earlier, you don't know what people are dealing with in this world outside of that dealership. Nobody wants to go to a car dealership. They want to go and they're like going to the doctors. It's like it's good. It takes their time and it's going to cost you money. So whatever we can do to help them, educate them, make it a good, positive experience. When they come back in, they're looking for you, and you're hearing, "Wow, you did such an amazing job. That we feel comfortable. What can you help me again?" And if we can get all our advisors on that same page, that they're treating their customers like you don't know what they're dealing with. So let's make it a great day for them and do whatever we can to get them come back.
And Tracy, how did you come up in the industry? And then I'll come back to Mackenzie.
Well, I will tell you, I knew a lot about the car business only because my husband was in it for many years, sales and finance. So when he was a big car guy, so I knew a lot about stuff. I've only been in it a couple of years. I started off as an express advisor and just grew, but I have customer service skills, and Lori knew that I would be a good fit. And I met with Tom and my boss, other boss, Dennis, and decided to give it a shot, and I love it.
I do. I love it. I wish I'd been in it years ago, but I was raising a family and, but I'm in it now for the long haul. I wish I had youth on my side, but I know I don't plan on retiring, so.
Mackenzie.
I was just going to go along with what Tracy said about customer service. We have a lot of programs here at DePaula to make it easier for customers as well, which I like our pickup and delivery service, where we can go to the customer, pick up their car, bring it back, fix it, and deliver it right back to them. They don't waste any time in the dealership. They're not waiting. They can do other things with their day. So,
Excellent. And Tom, you provide a lot of tools here at DePaula for your employees. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, we do. One thing that we're seeing with these young women is empathy that they're showing to our guests when they show up. That's a big piece, showing empathy to our technicians, and that's a big piece that we want to have. We have more women in the fixed operations, as you'll see going along today, but it just keeps the ball rolling. Just keeps everything going. You got to be diverse with everything, correct? When Mackenzie says we have a pickup and delivery, times are changing. Times are changing. What are we doing for the guests when they come in? Not everybody wants to come into the dealership. So we offer pickup and delivery in all our locations and showing that empathy. No one wants to come into the dealership, but they have a nice surprise when they see a friendly face or someone that can meet their needs. It makes it a little bit easier, and we welcome that, don't we? We want to welcome everybody immediately when they attend here.
And Bev, you pointed out as well, not only do they provide the tools, but you mentioned earlier, maybe the best tool of all, this beautiful new Mazda facility that DePaula's got.
It's fabulous. It took a long time, but it's good. It's good.
Well, ladies, thank you so much on behalf of the Fixed Ops community. Appreciate your time today. Everybody, the women of DePaula here at the pop-up event at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Ted Ings, and I'd like to announce that Quantum 5 is now a certified partner for the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Sarah Van Tyne is here on behalf of Quantum 5, Vice President of Sales. Sarah, congratulations.
Ted, on behalf of Quantum 5, thank you so much for having us. We're excited to be part of this.
Everybody, for more information on the Roundtable, visit us at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I am Ted Ings. We are here in Albany, New York for our fourth pop-up event. I'd like to introduce the roundtable to Jay Young, who is the local BG distributor here as part of Deposit Control Systems. Jay, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ted, thanks for having us. Pleasure.
And thank you for all your support, and thank you for BG support.
Absolutely. I thank Deposit Control System and Tom Myers, our distributor, who allows me to be here and talk about this event.
Well, we're very grateful to BG because BG is the exclusive sponsor of the pop-up events as we go around nationally. Tom, DePaula Automotive Group has had a long and successful relationship with BG Products, and Jay and his team. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well over 20 years experience-wise. And how it all happened was the equipment that they supply us to make all their chemicals work. And that's a big piece. And the machines are one piece, but the training that we get and the reporting is absolutely outstanding that we got over the years. But Jay would come in and train our people, and now it's all our stores so that we sell those products. And I live by BG for many, many years, and I think the association with all more manufacturers are going to start to come around with BG, which is a positive thing. I mean, because it does help, your vehicle. It absolutely, when you're coming in and we measure our consultants, our percentage, what we're using for BG, which is good. And it's about the training. Yeah, it's about the training.
And to Tom's point, Jay, I've heard the expression partners beyond products, and BG, clearly the best product in the market by far, but it's so much more than that. Talk to us about the support and the training that you provide to DePaula Automotive here.
Yeah, it's a great question, Ted. It's all about training. One of the biggest things is the industry has changed, as we know, from when cars first came out to this beautiful CX-5 behind us, which is a direct inject engine. And today's cars, as we know, cannot be tuned up, so it's about keeping your systems clean. So, yesterday's tune-up is today's cleanup. And we have to get that message out to the customers because, this is their biggest investment that they have if they don't own a house, and it's all about preventive maintenance. These vehicles today, if you keep the fuel system and oil systems clean, this car will continue to give you the fuel economy that you need, the performance that we purchased the car for, and just give you all over a nice ride and keep the value up at it. And when you go to trade it in, it's going to be a little bit more value to the dealer on purchasing that vehicle. But it's conveying the message to the customers through the service consultants, and that's where I come into a lot of the training with them and just help them along, role play with them, and talk about, again, today's technology and that the customer is aware of that technology and how to maintain it. This is very important because there's not a lot of replacement parts in direct inject engines today, as we know. Other than spark plugs and filters, you just got to keep the systems clean. And we just want to make sure they're doing that at the oil change interval. So when they come in for the oil change, we want to address the combustion chamber deposits that all industries are having, all the OEMs, because of the same platform that they're using with direct inject engines. So it's important that we get that message out to the customers. And going with Tom says, we've got to train on the equipment. You put the equipment in there, you want to make sure the technicians know how to use it, and that the service consultants know how to offer it to the customer and let them make a decision on how to maintain their vehicle.
Tom, I just got back from Wichita, Kansas, the headquarters, the worldwide headquarters of BG Products. So impressive, not just in the product, but also in their facilities, okay? In their distribution, in how they're packaging, the way they kit the product as well. And you mentioned machines also. BG is on the forefront on technology, and in our industry, that's constantly changing with a lot of things that are coming down the road. They're really ahead of the curve, and there's nobody else.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we go back as many years as we go, is that we had Charlie Paulson that did an article about the walk-around. Sure. We talked about the walk-around. That was 15 years ago that we did that. So the walk-around that we're doing each and every day is building that value, how we build the value. And that's what BG brings to us, is building the value or the training that we have. It's so important to us. And your local rep, but the local rep is part of us. I mean, Jay and I go back, so many years. Yeah. Which is a positive thing. And you got to believe in the product. And we believe in the product. We thoroughly believe in the product. And we've had people, poo-poo or whatever they do, or try to come in with another set of chemicals. Sure, get out of here. Yeah. We want to stay with BG because of the distributors and probably the family atmosphere that you have with them. We have been with them for so long. That's the positive thing that I get out of it.
Yeah, well over 20 years.
And Jay, I'll give you the last word, because before our pop-up event, so many times you and I called each other with Tom, we texted, we were preparing for today, and so many times you told me, hey, I'm here already at DePaula, I'm on the service drive, I'm working with the advisors, I'm doing training, here's some of the things that they're doing, here's some of the things they could do better. Talk to us a little bit about that relationship, the importance of that.
Well, people buy from people they like, and you want to feel comfortable when they come to the dealership. That's why it's important to go out to the car and meet that customer. Do the walk around, have them feel comfortable, let them get to know you, let them know that you have some empathy, why they're there. Also, let them know the services that you're providing with them, especially like the video. We've been talking about the video. That's very important for today. I think it's one of the best tools that this industry has come out with is a video, because as Tom mentioned earlier, we have our phones right at our side here, so instantly they get that video, and the customer gets to be part of that decision when they're offering that service to the customers.
Jay, very grateful to you and Deposit Control Systems.
Yep, we appreciate
and BG Products for their great support. Everybody, we're here in Albany, New York at the DePaula Automotive Group. They are a BG client for a long time. A lot more coming up here at the pop-up event. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Our revolutionary pop-up events have sparked a new wave of growth and innovation.
Become part of the brand that is shaping retail fixed operations at FixedOpsRoundtableCertified.com.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I am Ted Ings. We are at the pop-up event at DePaula Automotive Group in Albany, New York. We're with the great parts department leaders. I'll have you introduce yourselves, gentlemen, starting with Mike, who you are and then what you do.
Mike Hensel, parts manager for the Ford store.
Tom Salmeri, assistant parts manager for the Ford store.
Brian Lumnicki, parts manager for Mazda.
Jason Rapp, parts manager for Chevy.
Steve Luciano, assistant parts manager for Chevy.
And Tom, I know you have spent a lot of time and a lot of years building this parts empire you've got at DePaula. Tell us a little bit about that.
Basically, we have a great facility where we work on taking care of our customers through the service lane, which they can manage the gross profit and making sure that's efficient. But the biggest piece that we work on is building our wholesale business, and we work together on Friday afternoons and look at our logistics, how we grow that business. Not just for our Chevy business, not for Ford, but Mazda, because if Ford is some of that, one of our wholesalers is buying Ford parts, I want to make sure that they buy Mazda and Chevrolet and accommodate everyone. And we'll talk about cycle time today. Cycle time on our actual customers out there. Cycle time is important for those body shops or automotive people that we're accommodated. And we'll have some good stories that this panel will answer. Some good stuff here.
All right, so Mike, let me start with you. How do you as a team grow that wholesale business here at DePaula?
Well, first of all, we have outstanding outside sales representation. And it doesn't just start with the guys that are calling on customers hot and cold. It's our drivers. They are the face of our dealership, and we rely on them to do a lot of our networking for us. And on top of that, it's just having an outstanding, strong inventory. So cycle time continues for the customer. There's no wait time. We have the part. We're not going out to our parts distribution centers to get that part. We're pulling out of our own inventory. So, I mean, customers love it. And our best customers are our competition, which is a pretty good feeling. Right, guys?
Yeah, I love it. Tom, how about you?
I think our network of drivers, they communicate between each other, find out the most efficient runs between them, and we go everywhere, and we don't go. We can cover a greater area with less people.
Yeah, super. And Brian?
So for us with Mazda, it's actually the communication and utilization of our drivers from GM, Chevy, and Ford. With us being the smaller of the unit, we rely on our current drivers to not only deliver our parts in a timely manner, but to get out, hey, we're here, let us service you as well. So, I mean, our drivers for Ford and Chevy are a huge part of it as well. So,
Jason, learned a lot about these drivers and trucks. How many trucks do you have on the road here altogether?
Between the stores, we have 17 trucks on the road, and that's important to us. That gives us a greater opportunity for a greater coverage. A lot of our customers within the 50-mile radius or greater, we're able to get to even twice a day if need be. They, out of the order, if they forgot to get a piece or they got a piece that came in perhaps damaged or wrong side or whatever the case may be, we're able to get back out there and correct that problem for them the same day. Goes back to that cycle time, getting that car done and down the road for our wholesale customer so they can get on to the next one.
I love it. And Steve, if you would.
I think the biggest thing is the relationships. The relationships that our parts guys build with our customers is so important. We have almost 70 years worth of experience between our four guys, and they have such good relationships with our customers. They call, they know them by voice. They pick up and they know the voice as soon as they answer, and it's just an ongoing thing of just building relationships, and people buy from people. And I think that's super important. So,
Steve, you're so true. This is a relationship business, right? No matter what you do, it all comes back to a relationship and having that great relationship. I want to come back to the cycle time if I can. Jason, tell us a little bit more about that, the importance of keeping that cycle time, high with their customers.
It goes back to the ability for our wholesale customers to keep their productivity high. If we're able to get them the parts out of our inventory as opposed to selling out of the warehouses, so to speak, then that allows them to get a car completed faster, get on to the next task faster. It allows them to build their business and grow as we grow with them.
And Brian, wholesale is such an important part here at DePaula. Not every dealership is into the whole wholesale business the way your group is here.
No, absolutely not. And it's a very large piece of what we're trying to do here, and that's our biggest opportunity, is to not only continue serving the current people that we have, but getting our name out there to everyone in this area. So,
and parts has a lot of different roles, right? You've got that front counter, you've got the counter that works and serves the technicians in the shop, you've got the wholesale piece as well. There's a lot of components, and you've got a lot of people that you're managing as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
The people are what make us successful. So I'm fortunate enough I have someone that works directly with me with over 35 years experience, knows the Mazda parts like the back of her hand. We're very fortunate where we have some programs and technology that makes it a little bit easier for us as well. But the people we have, whether it's our drivers that we're utilizing with Ford Chevy, my counter person, myself, that's what is making us successful.
I love it. And Mike, we're having the technicians here on the show today, and the technicians sell hours, but really they can't sell them without the parts.
Exactly.
So parts sell hours. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, the parts department plays a huge role to our three biggest customers, which is our body shop, our service department, and our sales department. And we try to daily streamline the process so we can continually raise that bar and just grow as a team.
Yeah. Another big part of that, too, is the investment that Mrs. DePaul has allowed us as managers to make. The investment in the inventory, it's by far the biggest in the area. And that just goes to help us, like Mike said, with our in-house customers, or like Brian would say, with out on the road. So it really, that kind of helps tie it all together for us.
And Tom, that speaks to the tools that you at DePaula provide.
The tools they talked about, they're supplying the customers with our inventory, and it's about turn. And we talk about it weekly about how we're turning that inventory to make it's about people. I mean, we talked about our wholesale desk the other day about Jason took a call for a wholesale desk and they wanted to talk to the man on the wholesale counter and they called back. They deal with people. It's a people business. That wholesale business it's all about people. But we know what we have in our service lanes. We know how we can do that. We know how we can adjust our gross. But the wholesale business is so big, and to use it and put our name out there is so important to us, and we strive on that.
You know, Steve, a lot of dealerships, you know, and we're going to talk today to some of your folks in recon in detail about the importance of the used cars and turning them in the used car inventory. But a lot of dealerships, you know, don't realize that it's important, just as important, to turn that parts inventory as well and keep that moving. Talk to us a little about that.
Well, we take great pride in making sure that we have little to no obsolescence, making sure that the parts that we have in stock are up to date. Parts that are obsolete sitting on our shelves is nothing but wasted money. And so we make sure that everything is up to date, that we're stocking what people buy and getting rid of the stuff that people don't buy. And it helps us with, you know, that turnaround and making sure our technicians have what they need, making sure our wholesale customers have what they need. And it's super important to make sure that you maintain that.
Jason, talk to us a little bit about that inventory.
It's a challenge to keep it like it is, especially in the wholesale business. Mike can attest to that too. And as large as the wholesale business is, a lot of returns obviously come along with that. So it's a constant challenge to stay on top of that. But to be able to turn that inventory, you know, over $1.25 million in investment that we have, to be able to turn that 6 to 8 times a year it speaks a lot to our volume. It speaks a lot, again, like Tom said, to our people. You know, the relationships they've fostered. People know who's everybody's favorite football team is, and kids' names and everything else. It's really something. It's a business within a business, if you will. And I love it.
Ryan, your team does a great job here with parts. Anything you want to tell your peers out there in the country, you know, who are watching in today on the importance of parts and the awareness there?
I mean, as everyone said, you know, parts, service, parts, and wholesale, they all go hand in hand. You know, you need them. The biggest thing is, as we've all said, is that we have it in our shelves. We have it in our warehouse. We're not waiting days for it. So we're getting it out to our clients as quickly as possible so they're not, sitting on it and waiting on it. So, I mean, inventory is everything.
All right. Tom, will come to you, and I'll give Mike the last word.
We have a great deal of experience. We have over almost half of our people have been parts managers. So we look up the right part the right first time and make sure we get it out to the customers quick, and even in our own service shop.
I love it. Mike, last word.
Well, between the entire auto group, we're really proud of the 3 million plus inventory. We stock, we sell, we succeed, and we just keep the ball rolling. And it's all about 100% the team.
Everybody, it's all about the people here at DePaula. Great thanks to the parts leaders here today for sharing your time with us today. Don't go away. We have a lot more coming up. We're at the 4th pop-up event at the DePaula Automotive Group here in Albany, New York, at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are here at the 4th pop-up event in Albany, New York with the DePaula Automotive Group. I'm joined today by the service leaders, included with them not only Tom Rustino, the Vice President of Operations at DePaula Automotive Group, but Jay Young, who is the BG distributor here with Deposit Control Systems. Everybody, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks for having us.
Jay, we know who you are. Tom, if you would, starting with Tom, introduce yourselves and what you do here at DePaula.
Tom Zachmeyer. I'm the Service Director for DePaula Malta.
Justin Dwyer, Service Director for DePaula Ford.
Dennis Walters, Service Director for DePaula Chevrolet.
Well, love it. And Jay, you interact with everybody here on the panel as well.
Yes, I do on a regular basis. I've known them all for quite a few years, and we work together, always in the lane training. What's nice about this, they represent 3 different manufacturers, and all those manufacturers are basically going after the same thing. We have internal combustion chamber deposits we're going after, try to keep these vehicles running clean, free of deposits, and it's a great working team here to work with.
I walked through the shop yesterday, all 3 shops, okay, and I couldn't help but notice the BG machines that are in there. Gentlemen, starting with Tom, tell us a little bit about the support you receive from BG and the training, and a little bit about the relationship with BG here at the local level.
Yeah, well, I've been in the business 30 years, and BG has been a constant the entire time I've been there and worked with them since the beginning. The training they offer, the knowledge they offer our advisors that we can share with our customers on how to best service their vehicles it's the best in the business. So it's the support we get is outstanding.
Well, love it. That's over at Mazda. Yep. Justin, how about over at Ford?
So at Ford, it's a great retention tool with my customers because BG's been in the business for a long time and it shows great value, and it just helps us maintain the vehicles for the customers and also for the technicians. It makes them better tech in the long run.
Well, I love it. And Dennis, over at Chevrolet.
Yeah, I've known Jay for 20 plus years, don't know 20 plus years, but it's service, anything that breaks in the shop, any of the machines, or we need any type of chemicals that we run out of, he's there. The training is there, hands down the best with the advisors, and the technicians love it because he brings pizza with him when he comes in. So, but yeah, all around great job.
Tom, you've got a great leadership team here, not just in service, but in parts and throughout. We're meeting everybody today. But talk to us a little bit about that special relationship that DePaula has with BG here at the local level.
Oh, as I said before, we go back well over 20 years with BG, and it's just the support level from the owner down is just tremendous. I mean, it's just for many years. There's a little story I had originally where we had what all started, but it was just a great relationship. And when I get attached to someone in a relationship like that, in a business relationship, and as long as they're good to us, I don't break it. And somebody else can come in with cheaper price or anything like that. It's all about relationship. That's the key point to us that we have with BG. The reporting is tremendous, and the people coming through the door, and whenever we need anything, it's just tremendous. You can't beat it. I mean, the different other vendors out there, we don't want to deal with it. We wouldn't even do a display or a promo or whatever, a demonstration, because I don't want to deal with it. We're happy because they make us happy.
Jay, these gentlemen are seeing a lot of change happening in the industry. I'm going to ask them about that next. But talk to us about, with all the evolution that's happening now in our industry, how BG is keeping ahead, in terms of all those things and the technology, because it's really not just a product. It's really partners beyond products, from what I hear.
It is, Ted. And what key to that is we don't want to let the uncommon become common at the dealership fixed ops level. And that's why we're constantly in the lanes training. And as I stated earlier and talked to some of the guys before, today's technology is a little bit different than our mom and pa's technology, where, again, we used to be able to come in and do tune-ups at 30, 60, 90,000 miles. And now there's no tune-ups on engines today. It's just a keep clean technology. So, today's tune-up is a cleanup. And that's why we offer the fuel services at the oil change intervals and also at some of your higher mileage vehicles also. And then we just focus on fluid exchanges. Every 30 to 50,000 miles, let's take a look at your fluids, check out the condition, present it to the customers, and let them make a decision how they want to protect their investment, because it is a big investment. It's a beautiful vehicles that we have back here today, so you want to protect them.
Tom, I see that all of us are wearing our lanyards today. I saw the advisors this morning checking out tires when the service doors opened up. We heard a little bit from Jay about the relationship with BG. I've also heard from your techs and from the writers about the transparency tools, like the videos that technicians are doing, the whiteboards and how you're keeping track with that. Talk to us a little bit about that transparency.
Yeah, I mean, transparency is the most important thing we do. Everything, the minute the customer comes in, we're checking their tires, we're checking their alignment, we're showing them their specs, walking around the customer. When they get the video showing what the mechanic is working on their car. So that's our number one thing, is to make sure we're transparent. The customer understands everything that's going on, because we need to keep them informed. Most people come in a little bit on edge and not sure about a dealership, but we make sure that they can trust us.
You know what, Justin, that's such a big word. One of the advisors, Lisa, mentioned that earlier today. You know, trust. It takes time to build that trust. And I saw on the drive this morning, you're doing all these things to build trust, looking at tires, looking under the hood, the videos that Tom just mentioned as well, the transparency. Talk to us about some of the things that you're doing and why you do them.
So being transparent with our customers, it only builds value with our service, and it's a way to be consistent with our service, right? We'd like to be consistent with our walkarounds and the same process all the way through. That way it builds trust, and that way our customers we retain our customers, and they come back for the same service every single time because we're so consistent.
Dennis, your thoughts on that?
The video is huge. It's transparency, of course, but it's a quality video. We've had some of our technicians doing a video and they go too quick, and we pull them in and talk to them and say, listen, this is a tool for you to show the customer to sell that additional services. So you have to be clear, crisp with that, and basically it speaks for itself, transparency.
Well, Tom, how do you keep track of all these videos and making sure that the customers receiving them and that the advisor is talking about it?
That's up to the managers, but you're going to look at the view rate, and that's the important thing. We measure through KPIs. Each store has their KPIs, but in Mazda, it's Mazda's philosophy, and I'm going to bring what they believe in, is that you want to have your technicians at 100% video, and then there's going to be a percentage view rate. And we measure view rate because that's where our factory monies come from. I mean, it's not all about the CSI with Mazda. It's about service, and they're trying to build up the transparency. We were doing it far before Mazda was doing it because we have had iService, and we measure it that way. You want to measure who views the video, and that measures the salesmanship of the consultant. If the consultant has the highest rating, that tells he's talking about the video. And the other piece about the video is that there's a texting piece with it. A lot of people are busy today, and how do they demonstrate, how do they work? Is they're not on their phones, they're texting. And you'll be able to sell that job so much quicker, those additional service requests, than before, because why pick up a phone when you can text, go ahead and do it? And a lot of them have pricing right on it. But it keeps the consumer happy. You can't lie, because everything's text. It's like a legal document. So you know when you got that approval, it's all there, and use it. And I'd rather have them use that than use the phone. Just text, because it's so much easier. And you're not tying it up.
Chargeable piece.
Yeah.
Dennis, isn't it amazing? You know, with all that's happening, it's a relationship business where you're using these technology tools, which the consumer is very comfortable in using. I would imagine that once a customer gets that video, as an example, they're going to expect that every time they come back here to Paul.
They'll let you know when they don't get a video as well.
Yes, they will.
It's it's got to be consistent 100% with the walk around, with the technicians in the shop. It has to be done, because once they get it the first time, they're looking for it the second time. So it's a great tool.
Jay, I guess bottom line, consistency is the name of the game in our service business. What do you think?
Absolutely it is, and again, having a good product. Tom mentioned pricing and competition. One thing about BG, we develop a product that fixes the car, and it helps the technicians and service managers address that concern, and then we'll put a price on it and we'll go from there. But, that's why we have over 50% market share in this industry, because of our product and chemistry, and our R&D is the best in the business.
Say it again. Market share is how much?
Over 50% market share in the business.
Jay, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it is unheard of. And again, it goes back to our chemistry, our over 800 reps that we have out there, and it's constant training. And again, it's not letting that uncommon become common in your dealership, because we constantly have to change and educate.
Well, I want to thank the service leaders here at DePaul Automotive Group for your time today. Great information. Jay, I want to thank you. I want to thank BG Products, Partners Beyond Products, for all you do at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And stay with us, everybody. We have a lot more coming up. We're here in Albany, New York at the Fixed Ops pop-up event at the DePaul Automotive Group. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I am Ted Ings. We are in beautiful Albany, New York with the DePaul Automotive Group. I'm joined by Tom Rustino, VP of Operations. Tom, very impressive with your group so far.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ted. Appreciate it. I am glad to have you here.
Oh, Tom, but we've talked about it for a long time. A great honor to have to be here. And you've put together this panel. It's a topic that we haven't talked about at previous roundtable pop-ups, but I think it's just as important. It's on reconditioning in detail. So, gentlemen, I'll have you introduce yourself and what you do, starting here first.
My name is Jeff Gardy. I run the reconditioning and detail here at DePaul Ford. 17 years experience.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. My name is Demetrius King. I run the detail and reconditioning at DePaul Chevy, and I have 6 years experience.
All right. So, gentlemen, and Jeff, I'll start with you first. There's never been as much importance as right now on used vehicles in the last year, 18 months, 24 months, and reconditioning and detailing them and getting them frontline ready. Talk to us about the importance of that detail and recon process here at the DePaul.
It's very important. You want to be able to turn the car as fast as possible. We actually have rapid recon that we use. It tracks each and every step that you go through, starting from the car is received, meaning traded in, through the whole process, whether it's your detailing, your photos, going through service, and then rechecking the vehicle after everything is done, making sure we hit the 121 points that, the car needs.
Wow. And when does that process start? Because, I don't think you could ever start early enough.
So honestly, the process starts as soon as the customer leaves, the car gets traded in. As soon as it's stocked in, we actually grab that vehicle right then and at that point. And then, as we like to call it, the clock starts. Our goal is to get it to frontline as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And quality.
And that doesn't happen by accident. That happens with another one of the Tom Rustino processes here, right?
Correct. That would be the rapid recon process, which is, it's very intense sometimes because you got to be on top of everybody because it's going through multiple different departments. It's not just one department. You're using other managers, your employees. It's a lot to keep up with.
I love it. Demetrius, from your perspective, the importance of that recon process here.
Very important. Here at DePaul, we take pride in the work that we do. From the second that we get the car, it's in our hands to make sure we streamline the wall channels to get it back frontline ready, but make sure that we don't miss a step in between to get this car to the quality that will make the customer satisfied.
And there are a lot of things that could happen, a lot of potential hiccups, right? That could happen with parts and so on and so forth. Talk to us about that, because you're managing a lot of pieces, a lot of cars going on at one time.
See, most of all, attention to detail is the number one thing that we pay attention to. So anytime we run into hiccups, we have things in place that helps us streamline it faster. But when there are hiccups, we try not to panic. We realize there's one goal here, and that's to make our customers happy. So we just smile and we just move forward through any hiccup that we get.
Jeff, I see a lot of dealerships that work in silos where you've got new cars, very much separate from service, very much separate from used cars. How do you manage all those people as well as the cars as well in part of your process?
A huge thing is Rapid Recon. Again, that keeps track of everything for your used cars. As far as a new car, we actually have a get ready sheet. States, what time the vehicle's going, what the date it's going, if it needs accessories, if it needs the paint protection or interior protection. Yeah.
Love it. And Tom, from your perspective, you're very much aware of what's happening around the country with the market. When did this big focus on, I know you've always had it on detail, but when did it
Recon came to us with Dennis McGinn about 10 years ago. We use it. It's just a guideline where you watch the buckets and keep everything pushing through. But more than Rapid Recon, it matters with the people that you have running it. These two gentlemen are superb on what they do, is because there's such attention and they care about what they do. And when you talk about silos, there's no silos. They work together with the new used parts department, service department, because it's all part of it in order to move that car. And we watch it. We use it here at Mazda also, but that's a different process that we do. It's the same process with Rapid, but it runs through the shop. These are two separate departments that we have at these two other stores, and you got to have the right people. And they follow it to the T. People are the biggest piece that what we have here. That is just a great piece to have these two gentlemen here talking about it.
And Demetrius, you can't do this on a Excel spreadsheet anymore or with a clipboard. There really is a science behind getting all this stuff done.
Technology has changed, and it's changed in our favor. As far as Rapid Recon, that was a real good tool that was put in place. We're very specific on notes. So at any moment, we can go into our app and we can see at any space or any spot that the car is in. If we need to speed it up, we speed it up, slow it down. But with Tom putting the Rapid Recon in place, it helped us out at the Polar tremendously.
And Tom, typically a lot of dealers say they want to get to, just a couple days to get a vehicle front line ready. But, in recent years, it has gone historically around the country from 15 to 10 days to 7, and we see it going less and less.
But you need a product to calculate, okay? Your spreadsheet's not going to do it, because we thought we were doing such a good job until you really calculate it and see what you can do. With Rapid Recon, because the minute it hits your DMS, that's when the clock starts. From trade or when you purchase that vehicle, the DMS starts. So you're also tracking how soon, if you're buying a car across the United States, how long is it getting that car back to you, whatever you're doing, because you're trying to locate cars from wherever they are across the United States. So what it's calculating is a time to line. How long is it taking from the minute you bought that car from your DMS to when it's frontline ready? And that's the big piece that you want to watch. And you have your average days in recon, of course, but the overall process from when you actually own the car is the biggest piece that we want to watch.
Gentlemen, last question for today, and Jeff, will come to you first and then Demetrius to bring it home. Let's talk about the people at the Paula, the people here at the dealership. If there's one thing that you want your fellow managers and fellow recon and detail folks from around the country who are watching today and dealers to know about the Paula in terms of the detail and recon process on the people side, what would you say it is? What is one thing that you'd want to share with them, that's been successful and that's worked for you here?
I love when people have pride in what they do. It is the number one thing. When somebody doesn't have pride with detailing, you can tell through their work, without a doubt. As far as the reconditioning, it's the same way. Pride in your work. You want to make sure you're doing the job correctly and safely and making sure that vehicle is done correct.
Sure, and there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have, again, to refer back to Rapid Recon, we have quality assurance. Before that vehicle hits frontline, you got to check through it. Got to make sure it's clean. Got to make sure, no squeaks, no anything is going on.
Sure, I love it. Yep. And Demetrius, bring it home. One thing for your peers that you would want to mention to them.
Here at the Polar, we take pride in everybody working together. We have systems in place where each person helps another. So I just want to say to my DePolar group, thank you. To anybody that's thinking about the Polar family, we are a great team to work with.
I love it. Tom, I'll give you the last word.
So true, isn't it, Demetrius?
So true.
Jeff, I mean, two quality guys that really work hard to get our deliveries and our reconditioning done. So kudos to them. And that's what it's about. Thank you.
Great. Great information here, everybody, at the DePola Automotive Group. Our panel today on reconditioning and on detail. A lot more coming up. Stay with us at the pop-up event. We'll be right back at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hi, I'm Darren Gresseth, President and CEO of BG Products. For 50 years, BG has led the industry with innovative solutions to automotive challenges. But it takes more than great chemistry to be the industry leader. Our integrity, dedication, and investment in people are at the heart of our continued success. BG maintains the highest standards for quality assurance, environmental management, laboratory competency, and health and safety management through our ongoing certification with ISO. Our BG Proving Ground experts are dedicated to field support and advanced automotive testing. The facility includes 9 full-service automotive bays and 3 dynos, which provide real-time data. This comprehensive testing fuels our constant drive toward innovation. From service and parts managers to service advisors and shop technicians, BG is committed to the ongoing training of automotive professionals. Award-winning digital training solutions like BG Certified, the BG Tech app, and the BG Advisor app are available 24/7 in the palm of your hand. BG reps get first-hand experience through our internal training program called BG University at our headquarters in Wichita, Kansas. These reps in turn provide comprehensive training to your staff in person right on your service ground. 30 miles away, sitting on 40 acres in El Dorado, Kansas, are BG's manufacturing facility, distribution center, and tools and parts warehouse. BG's custom-built, one-of-a-kind manufacturing facility spans the distance of 3 football fields and is where high-quality BG products are manufactured and packaged. Just south of Wichita, in Derby, Kansas, our BG Automation Division and Certified Machine Shop manufacture the BG tools and equipment that are a crucial part of each BG service. BG doesn't stop in Kansas. Our BG distributor network spans the globe and is supported by a hard-working corporate team in the Midwest. With award-winning training, unbeatable customer retention programs, and accessible local BG reps, we ensure that BG distributors have everything they need to support you. BG is your partner beyond products.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I am Ted Ings. We are in Albany, New York at the DePola Automotive Group. I'm joined today by Tom Restino, the Vice President of Operations here at DePola. Tom, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Pleasure to have you guys here.
And Tom, we've got our world-class technicians with us today, so I'm excited about hearing from them and finding out who they are. So, Nick, if I could start with you, give us your first and last name and tell us what you do here at DePola. We'll go right down the line.
Nick Platt. I've been here for about 18 years. Master level technician for Mazda.
Excellent.
Howard Patel. I've been in the automotive business for 41 years. I've been a senior master tech since '99. I'm a shop foreman at the Ford store.
Natasha?
Natasha, and a certified tech for Mazda.
And Gene?
Gene Weatherington, world-class technician at DePola Chevrolet. I have 30 years of experience.
So, Howard, you and I were talking this morning before we got started. Give us a little background. Tell us what a career path looks like here at the DePola Automotive Group. I know you've been here for some time yourself.
Yeah, I mean, typically we get a lot of trade school students. They seem to be a good way to go. They come in with a certain amount of knowledge. So from there, it's really unlimited. It's up to them. They can follow their own training path. It's online training, and then we send them to school. So it's really learn at your own pace and it's up to them as to how they progress. But it's unlimited. There's no ceiling.
And you're the shop foreman today, and you came up through the process as a technician yourself. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I actually went to a trade school in the 70s. And I went out of there as a lube tech. Basically, started changing oil. From there, progressed. You start getting interested in other things and training, and one day you turn around, it's 40 years later.
Right.
So, but I mean, as far as our shop, the possibilities are up to you. It's unlimited. We'll support them through the training. We support them with the technical part of it. But yeah, it's pretty much self-driven.
And Nick, you've been here a long time as well. Tell us about how you became a master tech and, how you started off here at DePaula.
Started out in BOCES. It was a apprenticeship program. Did that in high school. Earned some college credits going into my senior year. And then went to community college to continue that education. Started as a entry-level lube technician and kept up on the training, and now lead technician here, master tech.
I love it. Natasha, you're also over here at Mazda as well. Tell us about that.
We started out, I'm still a lube tech. I did the training to become certified tech, and I was working my way as best I can.
All right. And Gene, talk to us about that career path a little bit, if you would.
The career path is awesome. There's no limit to what you can make or the hours you can turn. As long as you know your product and you gain that knowledge through the training that's offered. It is all paid training too. So not only can you make money at work producing hours, you can make money at home trading to make hours. It's a great business to be in. It gets easier as you gain knowledge.
As you get older.
It's been a lot. Absolutely.
And Tom, you have built, this really is a fixed operations juggernaut of a dealer. You've really put all the tools and all the people in place to do that on service and parts. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, we try to take young people out of the high school programs and find out where we can get the thoroughbreds and go after them and offer them. Last year, we just offered one young fella to come aboard and offer him a Snap-on toolbox to come aboard, because a lot of times the schools weren't pushing trades. They lost sight of it, and we're going to be in trouble, and that's a shortage where we have our technicians. But we go after the BOCES programs, and we're heavily involved with that. And you can see we have a lot of mature, but we have a young woman that has wanted to be a technician, and we'll grow her through that path. I mean, she'll have a great, the fundamentals she'll be taught, and she's in a great environment to learn. And that's what you need to do with these young people, is show them the environment and show them how they can be the best at what they can do. And we have some great people with Howard and Gene and Nick that are going to teach our young people. And they're putting their knowledge to use with us for our young people. That's a positive thing. And we try to work on that. Have we had our challenges where we've lost people like everyone else? Yeah, absolutely. You got to put time and effort in it. As Gene and Howard and Nick will tell you, it takes time to do it to make the money you want to make. But once you're there, you can make some really great, awesome money.
And Tom, between Ford and Chevrolet and Mazda, approximately how many technicians here at the DePaula Automobile?
Almost 55, I think, right about there.
Gene, you and I were talking this morning in the shop over at Chevrolet before things were getting started about efficiency and hours and the importance of, having a process. Talk to us a little bit about that and some of the things you do here at DePaula.
Absolutely. The only way to make money in this business is to be efficient. And as a technician, you have to be in your bag. Tom has actually incorporated many programs, and one being the ASR, which is additional service request. And you can actually go in and be working on a car, fill out your service request form, it gets sent to the parts department, which then gets sent to the service writer while you're doing work on the car. Therefore, I'm not leaving my bay to go get prices on parts or talk to my service writer. It's all in the ASR forms, which the customer receives when they pick their vehicle up. After the approval is given, the parts department actually brings me my parts. So I am not leaving my bay at all, except for to go get a car or test drive a car. And that's efficient. That gets the car in, gets the car out, makes the customer happy, and feels comfortable about it.
But that started with the transparency with the iService and True Video. It starts with the video that we're doing, correct, guys?
That is correct.
The video is a true importance that we find, and I don't see it a lot in dealerships today, that it's the best transparency that you can have to the consumer, where we've seen our hours per reparator go up because of it. It's a positive, and they love it. They look forward to it, don't they, Natasha? They look forward to it.
So, Natasha, when you do the videos, you're sending it really direct to the customers, are directly from you. How do they react to those videos?
I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Customers saying I probably wouldn't have bought the product without seeing how dirty it was or how broken it was. So it's just them seeing that we're not lying to them. We're showing them what their car actually looks like firsthand.
Nick, you've done Mazda for a long time, even before we had those videos, right? What's the difference between now having that transparency like Tom is talking about, to before we had that? Has it been an evolution? Has the customer evolved as well?
Yeah, it definitely makes it a lot quicker and easier to sell work when you show somebody a part's wore out or broken and filters are dirty, anything like that. It's show.
But they look forward to it.
Yeah, usually
if you miss it, they're going to tell you. It's like the car wash that we brought them to. They missed that video. Guess what? They're going to hear it.
So go ahead, Natasha.
A couple different comments on the website that they didn't see their video and we were able to send it to them. They were able to see their car.
So Natasha, if I'm a customer and I get that video, the next time I come in for service, I'm expecting that, right? That's now a new level of expectation. Would you agree? And Howard, you're overseeing a lot of texts, so that means a lot of videos going on, right? How do you keep track of all that? Because it's such an important part, like Tom says, of the business today.
Well, the customers do look forward to it. Like I said, it's gets them involved in the whole process somewhat. They're not just sitting there wondering. So we stress the importance to the techs about putting that information, giving that information that the customer deserves. And are they every single one as good as you'd like? Not always, but it just is. We just want them to relay what's going on with the car more than anything. So the car is the star of the show, if you will.
Okay. Speaking of the stars of the show, the technicians, Nick, last question today, and I'll go right down the line with everybody. What are some of the benefits of becoming a technician today, from a young person coming in looking to start a career and becoming a world-class technician here at DePaula? What would you say are some of the things they should look forward to?
The pay is good. There's definitely a short supply of technicians, so do whatever you want to do as much as you want. As far as you want to just be entry level, that's fine, but you can do as much training as you want and become as certified as you want.
I love it. Howard, Tom and I have a friend, Tully Williams. He says he wants his technicians to go home rich and tired. Okay. What are some of the benefits of becoming a tech in today's?
Like Nick said, I mean, the technicians are needed. They're not plentiful. So if you're a good technician, you can get work anywhere, and most shops are flat rate. So what you make hours wise is pretty much up to you. It's all effort driven. So the more effort you put out, the more reward you're going to bring home at the end of the week.
How about the benefits of a woman becoming a technician today? Because we don't see a whole lot of women, okay? And I know that's a big and up-and-coming thing in our industry as well.
It's always going to be a job you're always going to have. I enjoy it.
Gene, how about that? Benefits of becoming a
world-class tech. You have the highest pay rate. General Motors actually gives you a quarterly bonus to be a world-class tech and keep it up. And probably the biggest thing that makes me happy in this business is when a customer compliments me on my knowledge and what I've done to their vehicle. It's not pay, but it feels good that you're doing something that's making other people happy.
And Tom, bring it home.
It's kind of like being an artist, isn't it, Gene?
Absolutely.
The compliments that you'll get, because when you look at what we do, is it's a career, but along that career, you're getting full pay to be training yourself. And when you become that world class or that senior master, you get your full benefits paid for. So when people start to look at what you can become as a specialist in this business, because who do you need first before a doctor? You need that technician or that specialist to get your car there. So, I mean, it's a great fulfillment that people have to, like Natasha is learning it. And she's striving to become that world-class person. And that's kudos to her in that business. That's a big deal. It's a big deal to be part of it.
All right, everybody, stay with us. We have a lot more coming up here at the DePola Automotive Group at our Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. We'll be right back.